Hey everybody, welcome back to day two in Vintage Story. Now, for day two, things are going to start out a little slow. I woke up a bit early and it's still rather dark, rainy, not necessarily a great time to go out. So I try to wait out the sunshine. But unfortunately, my patience gets the better of me and I start roaming around outside. And I start getting shot. As you can see, I'm scrambling down trying to get in, fumbling with the doors and the gate. Once I finally get into my cozy little corner here, decide to just sit here and wait until the actual sunrise. Once sunrise came, I decided to hit it at full speed. Checked my bearings, looked around, and got out there. My goal was to try to explore and find where I wanted to live. Gathered a couple things along the way as well. Found some puffballs and decided to get those, so that way I'd have something to eat. Continuing on my adventures, I ended up finding a little bit of flint, gathering that as well as some lead ore. So I went ahead and marked that on my map. As you can see, ended up being in an area I'd explored before, but just missed the lead. While running around, I also almost killed myself, which was rather fun. While walking, almost fell into a gravel avalanche and suffocated to death. That would not have been a fun way to start day two. Continuing to look around the gravel area, I found a trader and decided to jump in there. Not literally, though. Ended up jumping into a cave instead. Once I got into the trader, saw it wasn't really someone I could deal with because it was mainly just furniture. Decided I would mark it on the map and pretty much just continue onward. Got tempted by the copper lantern, but too broke to get it. While continuing my travels, I ended up finding a ruins. Ruins gave me a decent foraging vessel, along with a little hidden room beneath the ruins ground. That was a nice little plus, although there wasn't anything too substantial from loot. Although, always fun to get a little gamble when you go down there and get another vessel and get a chest to look in. Hopeful for something major like a lantern at this early stage. Unfortunately, I couldn't use the chalkstone or the scroll, so I decided to really just leave those there for the most part. Once I was done inside the bottom of the ruin, decided to hop on out and continue the adventures. And I adventured. I explored and ended up finding some copper. Marked that on the map, and then went down and decided greed would get the best of me down in the caves. Jumping down, taking a little bit of damage on the way. After a while down here and seeing a bunch of the dead animals that I had seen previously, decided to get out of there. Spotting some borax, I realized that I didn't mark previously on the map the last time I was in here, so I added that to my collection of map markers. Continuing to explore, I found some surface meteoric iron as well. This was a first for me. I'd never found any that was that clearly on the surface. Usually I just find the bits and have to mine gently for the actual meteorite. So that was a nice plus. Then I explored, and I explored, and I explored, continuing just to try to find something of purpose. As you can see, I ran around and found areas of beauty, found areas of cold, but somehow ended up back at square one. The ruins we found in day one. For some reason, this area keeps calling back to me, so I decided I would make this my night one stay. Once I had landed on staying here, decided to clean the place up and maybe start blocking off the walls so that way things couldn't just run on in and attack me at any time. At least, that's what I thought the strategy was. So I spent some time blocking things off, even the entrance, making it pretty hard for anything to get me. Then I decided maybe I needed to get a little bit of a sleeping area going, because perhaps out here in the middle is not the greatest idea. I ended up making that and realizing I didn't even have enough wood for a campfire. I quickly made an axe, went out and chopped a tree, and then ran back over to the actual ruin area where I decided I'd make my little camp for day two. Also grabbed some cattails so that way I could try to make storage eventually. Once back inside the ruin, I closed off my little drawbridge made of dirt, dug it off rather, and then decided I would try to get in for the evening. Maybe do a little bit more area cleanup within the walls. At least I thought I was protected for now. Got my campfire made and then continued expanding, but I was very quickly thrown off guard. I thought I would just be doing extra clearing, making things a little bit prettier overall, and I was actually excited to do so. I even got my torch holder place that I found in the ruins previously, made a torch for it, and got that lit. This place was starting to feel pretty cozy, starting to feel like a little bit of a home, at least for me. Continuing on my adventure, I decided to get some dry grass from the grass here and continuing to expand, but was very quickly attacked. Now, At first, I thought everything would be okay. I would try to lure this thing out and quickly box myself back in, but that failed. And then it failed again when the creature was trapped inside of the base. I attempted to start hitting it with my fists, but I wasn't able to get any damage off. I was a bit stunned by fear and unable to make a spear because I was afraid it would start running out and attacking me, which it ended up doing. Thankfully, my strategy of blocking it off worked this time perfectly. Once in my little hidey hole, we were safe for the night. I ended up trying to make some storage, realized I didn't really have enough cattails for that either, so a bit of a failure in regards to the resource gathering. But overall, a decent day, and I didn't end up dying to that last minute attack, so that's always a plus. Day 3 is going to have a lot more effort, but day 2 was a success, I'd say. Decided to end it by looking at the sunset on the painting. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give it a like, a comment, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. If there's any suggestions on what I should do next in this world, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd be happy to check them out. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.